Yo, Wagwan, hope you're having a great day. In this video, you're going to discover how to stop wasting hours on whack mixes that sound unprofessional. So if you suffer from ruining your beats with mediocre mixing, wasting hours on your mixes that end up sounding thin and cold, or if your beats are scaring away artists because they just sound unprofessional, then this video is for you, and here is why. The fact is, you can create professional quality beats and mixes fast without all the headaches, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And you got to realize, if you don't solve this problem, it's only going to get worse. What most people do when they have this problem is they do things like watching dozens of YouTube videos on mixing and mastering, hiring someone else with more experience to mix and master their songs, or mixing their beats using trial and error. And for most people, none of that works. And the reason why is because watching a bunch of YouTube videos, you're going to get a lot of incorrect information. You're going to have to piece things together and find things that work specifically for you in your genre. For example, I'm going to show you how to get R&B trap beats mixed perfectly and sounding quality in this video. But if you're trying to mix metal beats or EDM beats, then that's a whole different thing. This video will give you information that you can bring to those genres and help you out. But if you want something that's perfectly tailored for you, it's going to be hard to do that by sifting through free content on YouTube, or you could just spend a lot of time doing that, which, you know, you're welcome to do if that's what you want to do. And hiring someone to mix your songs it's reasonable if you want someone to mix one song. If you want someone to mix every beat that you ever make, that's going to get really expensive really quickly. So I highly do not recommend that, especially if you're trying to hire someone experienced. Using trial and error and mixing your beats with no direction, it's really not going to get you where you want to go fast. It's going to take a very long time through trial and error to try and get things right, and flopping a lot basically. And what happens if you just do nothing? If you just keep doing what you've been doing? Nothing much. Like, no downloads, no sales, no customers. Nothing good is gonna happen for you if you just keep on doing the same thing that you've been doing so far. Eventually you'll give up on this music production thing, and you'll desperately try to hide your failures from your family and friends, pretending that you never uploaded a beat ever in your life, and everyone else will pretend as well, which is no bueno. Now, this is how I make professional beats fast. I'm going to share an answer that works. So here's the story. I used to be in the same position as you. I used to hate my mixes. Every beat I made sounded artificial and cheesy, cold and thin. My drums didn't hit hard. My melodies were muddy. My beats just sounded whack. They just weren't it. I needed to find a way to add warmth to my beats. I needed to make my music sound like music and not sound like something that I just sharted out of a digital tube, which is easier said than done. But here's the thing. I dedicated over 10 years to learning the ins and outs of music production, the concepts of mixing, mastering, that sort of stuff. I even went to university for music production. I spent countless hours fiddling with settings, trying to get everything just right and getting everything sounding the way that I wanted, banging drums, no muddiness, beats as warm as a hot cup of coffee. And then it hit me. What if I could start every single project with the right settings, saving me a bunch of time instead of adding it one by one every time I started a new project, right? What if every beat I made was already half mixed? And what if I could turn this into a template that other R&B trap producers like you could use to make their beats sound professional and get their mixes done quickly and save time at the same time? And that's how I created this R&B trap beat mixing template, which you will be able to see over here in FL Studio. This is the template that I am talking about, and if you watch to the end of this video, I'll also show you an example of a beat that I've mixed using this template. The fact is, it works for the top producers and it will work for you as well. Here's what using this template did for me. Like, I used to start my FL Studio products from scratch. I used to start my beats from scratch, you know, go in and you add each sample one by one by one. Long, not a great way to do things. Then you have to select your channel and link it to your mixer and add your mixing settings and all that sort of stuff, the EQ, other effects. Long, a lot of time wasted fiddling around doing things that's not necessary. Now I don't do that anymore. I just open up my RnB Trap mixing template and I start creating chords. I've got FL keys loaded in here, so I start creating chords. Then I replace that with VST that I want to use, maybe Omnisphere, maybe something else, and then we get cracking with the drums. Like, it's really straightforward and much easier than what I was doing before. Now I just add new instruments and link them to my already set up mixing channels, which already half mix my beat, so that when it comes to the point of me getting to that mixing process, all I got to do is really twiddle a few knobs and get things exactly where I want it to be. But generally everything's usually pretty much where I want it to be already. But you know, using different sounds, you can't just fling something on and it be all sides fits all and it always be perfect. Sometimes you're gonna have to go in there and twiddle things around, but that's much less effort, much less time, much less confusion than starting all the way from scratch. And now I can complete a mix and master of a beat in minutes instead of hours. And it's not just me. The best and smartest producers out there are using templates to speed up their workflow and get their settings that they usually use, whether they're recording an artist or they're making a beat, they get those settings into their DAW and get cracking, because it just saves time. It makes sense. It makes sense. There's no reason not to do this. And finally, it's your turn. It's your turn to get in on the fun. When you get this RnB Trap mixing template today, you'll get the key to mixing your beats to a professional quality, starting your new beats with them half mixed already, making sure every element of your beat has its own space, getting rid of muddiness, and making your 808s and kicks cut through the mix like a hot knife through butter. And it all comes as part of a FL Studio template file. Let me bring that in over here and I'll show you exactly how you get this up and running. Now, when you download this from our store, all you need to do is right click. By the way, I've got two different versions. I've got the mixing template with all the effects that I use, and then I've got the mixing template with only stock effects. So if you don't want to buy any effects, you only want to use the stock plugins that FL Studio has, you just get the stock one instead of the full version. But let me just quickly extract this here so you can see what's going on. That was a right click, then you go to extract here. If you're using Windows, very simple to get this up and running. I'm gonna rename all here so you can see what happens. Basically, what I've just done there is I've created, it's probably created, yeah, it's done that in there. What will happen for you is, because you won't already have these things linked up, when you extract it, you'll get this FL Studio template, which all you need to do is copy this and move this to image line template. So I'll show you how to do that really quick. I've just copied this and we need to go to documents, then we'll go to image line. Where are you chilling at image line? There's image line. Then we go to FL Studio, then projects, and then you go to templates and basically just paste this in here. And then you'll be able to select this from templates. When you go to like new with template, you'll be able to see it there, but it's not showing me right about now because I'd have to reload the actual FL Studio thing. So basically, let's go back to where we were. You get the template file, which you just copy into that position, and you also get a free drum kit. Now, this free drum kit is from other drum kits that I've downloaded over time. As you can see, it says Bro Beats, Cody, you know, that sort of stuff. So these aren't my personal samples that I've made by myself and be like, hey, you know, buy this drum kit. I'm not selling this drum kit. This is a free drum kit to help you get started. Maybe you don't have any drum kits, maybe you don't know, you know, what are good sounds for making RnB trap, or you know, that sort of stuff. Or this is just a, you know, quick thing that's going to help you out with getting some good samples into your template, so you can just get something up and running and then change that at a later date if that's what you want to do. So you will get this free drum kit. I need to I wish I could like unexport this stuff, but now I've done it, I've got all this stuff. So let me quickly delete that, because that's just annoying, taking up space, and that's not how it's going to look. It's going to look very clean for you. It's going to look like this, so you can just drag in the correct samples. So for example, all these samples have already been loaded up with these samples, but let me just quickly show you how you do that. Let's say you want to add the main clap, you'd add this to main clap, and then, you know, there you go. It's now in the main clap. And you add all the other samples the same way. Make sure use loop points is off for drums and whatnot. Pretty much everything you won't want use loop points on. You may want to right click it and make sure it's cutting itself as well, and that'll make sure you don't have a lot of disasters that may happen. With the 808, you want to bring this time down, because if you don't do that, then you won't be able to move the pitch around. That can happen now and then, so make sure you've got that time all the way down. Sometimes when you add new 808s or you change the tempo, that will happen, so that's how you fix that. And basically, you know, all of this currently at the time of watching this, I should have this up on my store listed for like $10. Let me bring up my store. You won't be able to see it in the store because I haven't made this public yet. You only see my old templates, but yeah, it's $10, which is, you know, super cheap. If all you got from this template was it helped you make beats faster and get professional mixes, like wouldn't that be worth $100 to you? I bet it would. So this is a steal for just $10. But here's the thing, like, it's not going to be $10 forever. It might go up at some point. I don't know when it's gonna go up, but it could go up at any point. Like, anyone could get it, so keep that in mind, because at some point I'm probably gonna be like, I want to deal with less customers and make more profit, so prices will go up and I'll have less sales, and everyone's gonna be smiling all the way around because I'll be able to, you know, give those people more customer service and whatnot. So it's just the way business goes generally. So I advise you to act on this as soon as possible. You got a choice to make. You can do what you've been doing already, or worse, do nothing at all, but you know where that will lead. Like, is that really where you want to go? It's time to take a new action, get a new result, finally give your beats the professional quality mixing that they deserve. Stop your great ideas and melodies being smothered by whack effects and incorrect processing. Like, that's not where it's at. Like, which do you really want for yourself? Answer that. But I can quickly, you know, go through a few of the settings over here, but mainly it's a lot of EQing, just EQing everything at the right point so that we're creating space for all the elements in the track. And, you know, we got a Fruity Love filter in there, which isn't currently on, but you can fling that on and get some nice effects from that. And on the master track, I've got Ozone 8, but remember that will be on the version of this that's not stock plugins. The one with stock plugins will have Maximus instead, and we've also got Seventh Heaven if you're not using stock plugins as well, but this is easily replaced by Fruity Reverb. And yeah, it's basically mostly FL Studio effects. I wanted to try and keep this as clean as possible, as close to stock plugins as possible, so that you wouldn't have to spend a lot of money to basically use this template. Even if you didn't want to get the stock plugins thing, you could just, you know, invest in, I don't know, 2 plugins down the road and keep it popping basically. So yeah, it's basically the only plugins that I've got in here is Seventh Heaven and Ozone 8. Like, those are the only paid plugins, and then everything else is just, you know, EQing in the right places to make sure that everything has its own space, which will make the mix just sound way better, which will make things hit harder, you know, like the drums, the 808s, the bass, that sort of stuff, and make sure that you can hear every element. On the subject of drums and getting your kicks and 808s and synth bass to slice through the mix, I've come back from the future to show you this feature in the template so that you know what's going on here. Basically, what I've set up in the template is that every time the kick hits, the 808 ducks in frequency as well as the synth bass. So you can use either one, you can use 808 or synth bass, you can use both in the same track if you really want to. But the way this works is if you link up your kick to the right channel, so channel 15, when your 808 hits at the same time as the kick, the 808 will duck in frequency and allow the kick to shine through. And the same thing happens with the synth bass. I can show you a quick example, if we just have a kick there, and we don't even need to put the 808 on there, to be honest, because it's just going to slice through regardless if the kick's playing or not. So the kick is hitting, I believe, at around 20 hertz. Or is it 20 or 50? Give me a sec. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. 100. Around 140. Not 20 at all. So that's where the kick is hitting. So every time it hits, there's a duck in this frequency which allows the kick to hit through, giving you that punchy sound that I'm sure you want if you're trying to make R&B trap type beats. So that's that. I just wanted to bring your attention to it, because if you don't know that's going on, you might be like, what the hell is going on with my 808? Why is it ducking? All that sort of stuff. That's why that's happening to your synth bass and 808. It's ducking to give the kick more space so that your kick can slice through and be heard and have that punchy effect. So let's go back to the past. And you know, this is just perfect for making R&B trap beats, because I've gotten it down to a science where, you know, the melodies and whatnot are in the background, the atmospheric, they're not taking up too much of the high end and that sort of stuff. But you can get ARP in there that does take up some of the high end and does give you a bit more of that, or the top melody that gives you way more of the high end and that sort of stuff. So I've got everything where it needs to be, and you can just add your new instruments and then link those instruments to the different mixer tracks. Really easy. All you need to do is just go up and down here and link that over. You don't have to do any long stuff. So that's how that works. I hope I've given you a good explanation of how you can get this up and running and start getting your mixes sounding professional. In order to grab this, there'll be a link in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube, or go to jcarterray.com/FL templates, and that should take you to this page where you'll see all my FL Studio templates. And basically click on the green button, add that to cart, go to the cart, check out, enter your details, Bob's your uncle. You'll be able to download the FL Studio RnB Trap mixing template, which will come in that zip folder. Then you do as I showed you earlier, you unzip that and you use the template and start making your beat. You know, add the drum kit and whatnot, or add your own drum kit if you already got one, and keep it popping. And that's as easy as it is. So let me quickly play this beat for you so you have like an example of a beat that I've actually made with the with this template, so you can kind of have an example of what it sounds like. But you can just go to jcarterray.com/beats to hear my beats and hear what my mixing sounds like, if that's something that you need. But let me quickly play this, play a little bit of it, and then, you know, we'll fade out. So thanks for watching. I hope this video has helped you out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Let me play this beat. This is called Ray Cookie. All right, question of the day is, do you use templates in your music production? Why not? If you don't, how do you use them? If you do, let me know in the comment section down below. And in the next video, you'll learn more about music production, online business, and online marketing. So I'll see you there. Peace out.